Hello Vega Vibers, welcome back to the channel. Finally, we're going to get done. We're going to take this thing out for a ride, for a test ride. New transmission is in. We just need to install the drive shaft, the dust shield, fill it with fluid, and take it for a ride. You know, when we're out there riding it, we're going to test it for heat soak too, because in the last video, remember I put in that ridiculous pizza tray? Well, I think it's going to work. Today's about what, 83, supposed to go up to about 95, so it's going to be pretty warm. And if you remember, at around 85 degrees or higher, it would suffer from heat soak. We're going to see if we eliminated that, and then maybe we'll get a burnout. You got to remember, this is a 340 late 72, so it's net horsepower. I mean, it's got some, if you want to call go fast goodies on there. Not a whole lot. It's got a 670. I think it might have been bigger back then. Holley carburetor. It has headers and a mid-rise intake manifold. So we'll see if we can get a burnout. And we have 275 Nittle tires in the back. I mean, it's a lot of grip. So let's see if we can break these tires loose. But let's get it started. Let's go. Okay, so after researching this over and over and over again and asking, everyone says that the 904 dust shield or cover fits the 727 small block. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. The only two that line up are the two smaller bolts that go here. I can get either one of these in, but it doesn't line up. And these are all off. Once you line up these two, everything else is off. So there must be some sort of difference between 68 and 73 when it comes to the small block. So we're just going to put the starter in place, leave the dust shield off until I pick up a new one, and continue on with the exhaust. I really wanted to install this, but no bueno. So let's do the starter. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. No dust shield here. I may have to look on eBay and see if I can find a used one, or maybe just get a new Chinese one. And then I still have to put this support bracket here. I need to find that bolt. This connects to the block. I was never able to get the one on that side in place. I'm going to try one more time later, but I need to find the bolt for this. The starter is in place. Of course, that wasn't easy either. And then I still have to connect the shifter cable from B&M, but I need to find my spacers that I took off, because you need spacers for these two bolts. Right? You can't just bolt it on there. It's got this little lip here. It's not going to sit right. So I added some spacers for the 904. It should be the same here. The cable for the pressure line or the kick down, that's in place. So the way I got that to fit without having to change the adjustments was I used the levers off the 904. They fit exactly the same, but they're shorter. If I were to use the ones for this transmission, the 727, they were about 1 inch longer, and that would change the mechanical geometry here, so it wouldn't be the same. And then I would have to go and readjust this cable up top, figure it out, and figure out this one too, because this also has adjustments down here and up top. And in order for me to do that, I would have to find the original box, because that's where the installation manual is, the instructions, and I don't feel like doing all that. It should be the same, because the valve bodies on both transmission kind of match. There's slight differences, but I think everything else is the same. So that should work. Let me find the spacers and the longer bolts that go on here. And I'll get that put in and show you guys. Okay, so as it turns out, I found the longer bolts with the spacer there. They were on the 704, 904. I forgot I had put them back. Also, the bolt that holds that bracket, this bracket here from the engine block to the transmission, some sort of support there. So on the 904, it's just a hole that goes through. So I had a bolt in a nut on there. This one actually has threads. So I found this. I'm going to put a little anti-seize on it right here and bolt that bracket back in place. And then I'll come back to this. Okay, looks like everything is in place. Let me shut this light off because it pulsates. Okay, shifter bracket is in place, tightened down, hooked up to the lever, all secured. I didn't have to make any adjustments. It landed exactly where it's supposed to be in the park position. Hopefully I don't have to adjust that either. I had to run this hose for the transmission fluid up higher because it was interfering with the shifter cable here. So I pulled it up. Luckily I have enough slack in there and zip tied it. As you can see, it's zip tied in place, out of the way. And the speedo cable is in place, nice and tight. I wrapped this one in some heat shield. I believe this is DEI because the exhaust goes here, and that's gonna, I don't know, maybe enough heat to burn through that rubber hose. Hopefully I won't have any issues there. All right, so this is all done. All that's need to be done now is the exhaust. Put the mufflers back in place, but I'm waiting for new gaskets. You can see the other ones over there, right under the tire, but it's all chipped up. So I'm gonna clean these up, the surfaces, and Amazon is supposed to deliver anytime, any minute now. They're about 3 stops away, and then we can get to that. How's that look? We are in the home stretch. Ready to go, baby. All right, see you in a second. All right, since we're sitting around waiting for Amazon to drop off those gaskets, may as well change the oil. So this is the oil I use. Hot Rod and Classic Motor Oil, 10W40. High Zinc by Lucas. Amazon, 44 bucks a gallon. And then I use the Wix 51515. There it is. And you would think, right, you put a remote reservoir or remote filter in here, right, so that you don't make a mess on the header over here. And now you make the mess over here. I mean, it's easier to clean here than it is over there. And then you have to put up with all the smoke until the oil burns off. But this was the reason to put this here. You take it off and you still make a mess. And I put a bag under it too. Oh well, whatever. Let me get to the oil pan. Okay, gaskets came in while I was changing the motor oil. All right, so I did find that bracket for the passenger side. I must have tried it once before because it was laying on top of the original engine, and it doesn't fit. It right in this area here and here, it interferes the header. So no bueno, that's not going in. I mean, I could chop it up and get it to fit, but what good would that be, right? It's pretty small already. So that stays out. At least it has one in it. All right, let me clean that surface up and get these headers put in. I mean, mufflers. All right, the exhaust is in. I topped off the diff, greased the U-joints, a couple of parts in the front end, and she's sitting kind of pretty right here, huh? But she'll level out as soon as I take her out for a ride. See, the front end is way up, but it'll settle as soon as the car moves. All right, so what's next? I think it's just time to put the battery all back together and go for the first start since March. Hopefully the ethanol fuel that's in there, well, 10% of it, right, didn't ruin the carburetor, because I don't normally leave it without starting for so many months like this. Even in the winter, I start her up at least every 3 weeks. All right, so I'm gonna have to crank it so that the fuel pump can bring up the fuel. I won't be able to see it anymore because I did change that plastic fuel filter where I can see the fuel. So I'm gonna have to go by either the pressure or just crank it, I don't know, for about a minute or so, let the fuel come up, give her 3 pumps of fuel, and she'll light right up, hopefully. So let me go ahead and put all this together, and I'll be right back. You guys want to hear what 500 ponies sounds like? Let's see. All right, let's give it 3 pumps. 1, 2, 3. Give it a few seconds. Just get some fresh air in here. All right, so this car hasn't been started since yesterday afternoon. This will be a cold start after, I believe, is 8 to 10 years since we installed this engine, and we've done nothing to it. Everything's the same. Spark plugs are still in there. Oil changes, yes. All right, let's go. You hear that buzzing sound? That's not an electric fuel pump. That's the lead brakes vacuum pump. This thing doesn't have enough vacuum. Woo-wee! Still like new. Yeah, still cold. Look at the oil pressure go up. It's going up. It's going up. Let's see how far it goes after 8 to 10 years. And this car gets driven. Almost at 60. Listen to that. Okay, let's get this one started. gotta go get the key. All right, give me a second. I'll go get the key. Woo! Wait! Oh, I got top. Oil pressure. Okay, I think she's good with oil now. It needed about 3/4 of a quart. So it doesn't drip all over the place. Beautiful. Okay, completely dry. So it was full. I did put a gallon in there. But it's a deeper pan, and it now has a transmission cooler. This is what I'm using, nothing fancy. Maybe a quart or two, just to see where that gets us. Maybe I'll check it there. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so she needs more transmission fluid. This is the 2nd gallon, so that's 2 gallons so far. And she's still reading very low. So let's go with another one and see what happens. Jesus. Alright, so I went and got these at Walmart. I did stop at Advanced Auto Part. It's a lot closer to me, but they wanted $40 for one of these. Walmart, $24. Can't beat it. Alright, let me continue on here. Okay, so I finally got it to read full after running through the gears and I kept adding and adding until it finally reads full after running through all the gears. So let's take her outside and let's see what happens. All right, that's the fan running. Starts right up. Reverse. Oh, that feels promising. Drive. Okay, it's moving. Let's just go slowly. All right. I don't know if it needs a break-in period, but let's go nice and slow. Will she shift? Oh, that's 2nd. All right, I don't think she went to 3rd, but let's go down the hill. All right, let's start here. Neutral, drive. It felt like 2nd. I didn't feel it going to 3rd. But let me put some heat into it and bring you guys right back. Downshifting lovely, and she's going through all the gears. Got a little bit of a stumble there when I first come off the throttle, off idle there, but we'll take care of that later. There it is again. I'm gonna drop it down a second. Shifting nicely. So I'm going to continue to drive around, get the heat up, get the temperature up rather, and see where we end up. All right, I got the heat up. There it is, right there. The fan is running, and she ran lovely. Put my hand in here and nothing. You don't feel any of the heat. The tray is warm, but you don't feel the hot air escaping out of the engine bay and into the carburetor. So the heat soak is gone. You can hear the fan running, so it's blowing all that hot air in that direction. That transmission cooler looks pretty nice over there, huh? Anyway, so about the burnout, I attempted it. I wanted to try it out before I put it on video, and it's no bueno. Here's the problem. So I tried power braking it, and it broke the wheels loose. It just started hopping. I had a bunch of axle hop, and it was violent. I mean, violent to the point where I thought I might have broken something. But yeah, we're gonna have to do a little bit more modifications. I thought I was done with it, and I guess it never ends, right? Your project is never finished. So I don't know, some ladder bars, some traction bars, whatever you want to call them, that's what's next. And maybe we're gonna get rid of these air shocks, because look at this. If I grab it, look how easy I can pull up on it. So I don't think it's stable enough. We're gonna change the shocks and put some traction bars on there, and we'll take it from there. It's looking pretty good. Yeah, a lot of people don't like my decal back here, but there's a reason why I did that. If you guys watch my videos, you'll know why. I'm not gonna get into that right now. It's depressing. Here she is, folks. The 68 Dodge Dart Cruiser is back on the road after being down for almost a year, waiting for the transmission. Anyway, that's going to do it for me, folks. You guys come back for the next video. The next modifications for this is going to be traction bars, shocks, and then we're going to attempt that burnout again. And hopefully no wheel hop, because that, I swear, it bounced really hard, and I thought something was going to break. Anyway, folks, that's enough for me. We'll see you guys in the next video.